continue to flow in quiet stillness. Along the way, the phone's battery stopped at 97% for no clear reason. It was a tiny fluctuation, never meant to be recorded. Yet this program gathers only those small, meaningless shifts.
I'm thinking about the name of my show, and I wonder how many times I already said this. I'm talking a real show this morning, but I really feel like I get swallowed by a big empty space sometimes, and without even notice it, I probably become a person that gets swallowed by this empty space and every part of my life. But I think it's important to stand straight inside this empty space, or rather my body is changed so that I can only look inside this empty space now. No, my body was like that from the very start, since I was in religion for 20 years with a book, body like that, it makes a lot of heavy friction. And what has held me up through that friction is being very strict with myself, to be exact, putting a heavy load on myself, and other than that, it's my steps for living and staying alive, which means my routine. It means routine and various rules, but in the end, using that word, what doesn't fit my view, the word. Meaning it's wrong way to say it, but it's like a spirit that doesn't want to lose, though I don't know if that's right. Maybe it's that kind of energy, but fighting back itself feels like it's making a story. I threw away everything that looks like a story or fake picture in my head. But when I'm eating breakfast today, I always think, what's the point of tasting this food so clearly? And I'm not looking for the meaning in life. I know there's no meaning to life. So what it is, the feeling of what's the point of living is completely different. You're looking for the meaning of life, right? Fighting back meaning means trying to run away from it or beat it. But like I said before, I lived together with this empty space. Now usually when you try to fight this empty space, or when you try not to lose it to it, you either run away to a rescue or get too eager and destroy yourself. I wonder what this feeling is, but I think I could live by doing things as always, so I don't lose this empty space, meaning keeping things going. After all, I think keeping things going is the only way to beat this empty space. But while I know in my head that life has no meaning, even when I'm winning, thinking what's the point of doing this must be like a withdrawn problem, because I was deeply in that religion for 20 years straight. I guess I look for meaning without not seeing it. I think that's what it is. But when you think about it a bit, it's strange. I'm thinking, what's the point of doing this? Because I'm inside this empty space, but I'm thinking, what's the point of doing this as a withdrawn problem from the religion? Would that thought come out even if I'm not inside this empty space. But after all, it's good I'm in this empty space, because if I weren't in it, a question like what's the point of doing this wouldn't come out or at all, right? If you think about what's happened when person who didn't do religion fall in this empty space, I think people who even face the meaning of the life that much feel there's zero meaning, that everything or become extreme realist like that, meaning they know it in their head, but they don't really know it. I guess that's what I think. Self-help and mental health look for rescue is if it's natural, but I think what's waiting after you run away. The rescue is despair, or rescue is a humiliation for me, and maybe that part of me that hates losing is coming out, and that spirit that doesn't want to lose it to after come to think of it. First of all, this show shouldn't look like mental health. This is hurt. It's not mental health at all. It's not a rescue. It's not story of getting better, and I have zero plan to rescue anyone. But in the way I believe it can end up as a different kind of rescue that isn't a rescue. It's hurt. I don't mind if people think it's just a show talking about the way of living. And I don't mean to talk about a way of living. It's just a record of how I move, a record how I move inside this empty space, and also how to say this empty space and word is very hard. Also about order, trying to say order or saying strict. I tried various way, but it's hard. But this empty space is not being a realist who think there's nothing, but it's not being empty. It's hard. Also, what about hope or those kind of things? You use the expression self-story to write. Also, it's not fiction and it's not non-fiction. And speaking of a self-story, in a sense that the future I always talk about makes the past, you end up making it anyway, and you make it because human nature. So I think explaining the past itself is off from my rule after all. Of course, thinking I should have done that thing, or that was right, or that was right. Thinking about that itself is a self-story after all. I guess I should stop. Also, my sense of duty, or that I was born to do this, that self-story mixed with a bit strange magic talk too. But the self-story itself is probably a troublesome thing. Now I like to talk about what happened today. I was watching a video yesterday, and even though they went to an Italian restaurant, they were given fried chicken for some reason, and it was strange to me. But my mom already knows the details about that situation properly. But when I said, if you're not gonna serve food, you don't need to rent an expensive place like an Italian restaurant on purpose. She said maybe there was nowhere else to buy food except fried chicken that way of the mark. I'm not looking for a right answer, but we are renting this expensive place on purpose, and Italian food doesn't come out, but entering like food does. So I say, why rent this space? And usually the answer would be like, we didn't need a restaurant, right? But for some reason, she started saying, instead of fried chicken, maybe there was nowhere else. So I was surprised. Also, I changed clothes yesterday, but today is a day to change clothes too. It seems the first jacket isn't washed yet, and if they use the dryer, some dirt that doesn't usually come out might come out. And now I feel the hopeless mood. I hope it's dried somehow. Also, following up yesterday about the video. First, my mom's talk started with a reason to show the feel right, like she was looking it up because it was necessary. She started saying, don't look up extra things, so there's nothing I can do. But it started from a reason to show she's right, and we were talking yesterday too. It's a serious there are 1, 2, 3, and I don't know which one, but I said there's series. I haven't watched all the way through, and I think she said they're not watching it. It is, but well, you watch it again regularly, right? So I said this anyway. I haven't watched it even once until now. I said I feel I'm not trusted. I said I'm not trusted by this person. It's not that the fact that she doesn't trust me is anything big. I just thought I'm not trusted anyway. I got in that kind of feeling. I thought I'm not trusted by this person, meaning my mom is problem from before the point of not trusting. There seemed to be a problem from before that, and after that the talk goes on. But honestly, I forgot. Anyway, it was too complicated, and our stance is like, you what's at all, right? She didn't trust me at all, right? Yesterday too, there was one that you can only watch halfway through in the video, and I could watch it yesterday, but when I told her this, she said, no, you differently watch it to the end. What I found out as a result was that the order got strange, and it felt like it was halfway through. But anyway, since my mom is saying this, it's halfway through, right? It's not nothing wrong here, not matter how it really is. I think she was that kind of understanding too. And when I went to the first floor to change clothes just now, my mom was stripping first down, and it looked to me like she woke up surprised, and I'm in the middle of working, and if I talk like that, my routine breaks, so I don't like it. But there was that drama before. At that time, even though she 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 shouldn't watch TV in the middle of the night. My mom was watching TV, and she woke up, surprised them too. And since there's drama from the time when I said, you were tripping just now, right? She said, angry way, no, that's not true. It's possible she was just sitting to do the computer. But I clearly felt she was sleeping, so I tried calling out to her. But well, my mom is angry, but it can be helped even if she told us, because she had slept without telling me before. So she didn't understand that that it can be helped that she told us. So now for the next story, it's for yesterday talk. There's trend the person who can say what they want to say clearly to others, and of course, even if they say it, the person who also is that kind of strength is true kindness, right? That's theory. You get the impression that when a scary person is kind, that's a true kindness, right? It's true that respecting someone and fear or feeling fear probably have some common mind part. But thinking that because someone looks scary, they are being kind means true strength or kindness is out of the question. In the first place, saying a person who can say what they want to say smoothly to others is strength or kindness, that's probably just a cream line, meaning a kind person is just kind of probably. If you start saying that no strength or that's not true kindness, there's no end to it, probably.